Hello and welcome to the November update from the Tau team. It's the November update, so over to you, Karim.
Thank you, Fola, and welcome everyone to the November update for the Tau development team. The big news this month was, of course, the Tau language alpha release. The entire team worked very, very hard to push it out by November 15th. So on his side, David worked on several release-related tasks. He updated the README file. He was the major author, actually, of the README file, where based on lots of suggestions from the team and from Ohad, he reorganized every section of the README file and added some new sections and updated all the documentation regarding the REPL and the Tau grammar itself. He also worked on the Linux packaging, mostly Debian, but also he made some minor tweaks for the Fedora configuration. He, as always, we're constantly always improving error messages to help with diagnostics. He also fixed many bugs that were immediately submitted or found after the release. Many of them were root cause to the solver itself, but we also fixed a syntax issue regarding the syntax of simple Boolean formulas that was causing syntax error for some people. And he also added some hooks related to Tau formulas. He also made some improvements to the Tau language itself by giving types to the constants 0 and 1 to distinguish between them when they occur either as a Boolean algebra element or in simple Boolean formulas. On the REPL side, he started with refactoring some code, some separation between the REPL and the Tau interface, or the Tau language itself, and he added some extra options to the help command, added recurring relations when calling normalizations from the REPL. He fixed some demo scripts and updated their syntax, and added more demo scripts showing how you can have Tau specifications as inputs and outputs. Regarding the solver, he added functionality to automatically infer auxiliary output variables and improved the initial loopback computations. On the interpreter side, he fixed the order of execution, allowed uninterpreted constants modeling during execution, and fixed an issue with constraints in the grammar. He also changed Tau grammar to unify uninterpreted constants and variable. Finally, he plugged the chi infinity construction that Lucca just finished into the runner. And currently, David is focused on fixing some bugs he found after the release. We found after the release, basically, and most of them were root caused to issues around the splitter. Lucca was also extremely busy and had to burn the midnight oil and the weekends to make the release ready by November 15th. He finished the implementations of splitters for temporal Tau formulas. That required a couple of iterations. He also added equivalence checks for temporal Tau formulas. He resolved the problem where the always and the sometimes keyword were not really complementary. It was kind of a conceptual misunderstanding on everybody's part, but that's been resolved. He updated the help command in the Tau REPL and fixed many issues across the entire system. Umar has been isolated a little bit from the release efforts, but he's continuing to work on re-implementing the core parser tree implementation. We're looking to improve performance both in terms of execution speed and memory usage, because we know that's going to be a limitation. So it's still important what he's doing, of course, for the release. He's still investigating the effects. He has a new implementation, but he's investigating how it's currently affecting garbage collection, and also trying to adjust the interface so that it has minimal effects on the rest of the code when we introduce it. Tomáš also worked very diligently to get the release out on time. He fixed many bugs, especially the one I was talking about earlier with respect to a dot or an optional dot in the definition of Tau constant. He added the ability for the Tau parser to provide a fallback value when fixed point calculations fail instead of just returning false. And he also improved error handling. On the REPL side, he finished the Windows terminal implementation. He improved handling of pipe and file inputs. He improved the way we handle multi-line input. He consolidated all the CLI options and aligned them with the settings available in the REPL. And he simplified running a single file program from the command line, so you could just say tau, my program file name, and it just runs. On the release side, he built the Windows installer, added MinGW toolchain, and the boost log, MinGW build, a helper for the script, and added CMake and CPAC configurations for building release packages in the installer. Last but not least, Andrei has continued his efforts on working on the testnet, using a mixture of Tau and perhaps throwing in some Rust in there whenever needed. And he's relying on a lot of guidance from Ohad there. He also completed various tasks around our web servers, including setting up several development servers. And he even pitched in into release efforts by resolving some multiple deployment issues. Let me end this month's update by encouraging you to submit any issues as bugs or as GitHub issues using the bug reporting template. Please do that. And we'll be looking forward to those submissions, and we'll also be following your progress on our Telegram channels. That's it, Fala. Thank you. Back to you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Karim. I'll pass it over to you, Tomáš, for your update this month.
Thank you, Fala. Hello, everyone. So this month I've worked on Tau syntax. I've updated the syntax that when we are writing Tau constant source, the dot at the end is optional. And then I provided syntax for and functionality for you can provide a value for fixed point calculations, which when there is a loop, then you can decide which value gets returned. You can provide the value, or by default it just returns false. And then I've changed the command line interface. We can run just Tau and file name, and it would run the Tau specification. And I've consolidated command line options, removed subcommands, and I've also aligned the command line options with the settings which are available in REPL. Regarding REPL, I finished the Windows terminal implementation, and I added support for multi-line input, and I also improved handling of non-TTY inputs, which are pipe or file. Then I worked on the release. I added a WinGV toolchain and boost log WinGV build helper script. And then I worked on CMake and CPAC configuration for building dep, RPM, Windows standalone zip and package, and Windows installer. And then I also improved error handling from parsing, from validity checks and type checking and inference. And I spent some time on refactoring and cleaning the code. Back to you, Fala. Thank you.
All right, brilliant stuff, Tomáš. Thank you very much for your update. I'll pass it over to Andrei for his update now.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm here to share some of my work progress over the past months. While collaborating with the team on further advancing our TauNet blockchain architecture and refining requirements to the Tau language, I've started the actual Tau blockchain implementation solely in Tau. And this is a milestone for us, because not only it's a showcase for language capabilities, also it leads to a more cohesive and efficient system. And I anticipate within few months we will get a running code for the TAUnet blockchain, and next it's up to Tau interpreter to run it. Other than that, I installed several development servers for our web projects, and the servers are crucial for testing and deployment of our web applications. During this process, I actually ran into several deep-rooted issues that significantly slowed down our progress, and I was able to resolve them all. Other than that, I've installed several caching services to our web platforms, and you may have noticed that loading times significantly reduced and the data retrieval sped up. Overall, it's been a quite productive month and filled with meaningful advancements, and I look forward to share more progress with you soon. So, thank you for your continuous support and enthusiasm. Stay connected and take care.
All right, amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Andrei. And over to you, David.
Thank you, Fola. Hi, everyone. This month I've been working in several tasks. I've been improving the README and adding suggestions from the team, mostly adding new sections, updating info related to the REPL, the grammar, and also reorganizing the sections and other improvements. I have improved also the error messages, and I have made several fixes, mostly regarding type inference in the solver command, SPF constant parsing, and hooks related to the Tau formulas. I have also made several improvements in the REPL, mostly in the help command. I have added extra options, and I have applied recurrence relation when calling normal forms in REPL. I have also made several fixes in the REPL. I have made several improvements and fixes in demo scripts. The demo scripts mostly related to the syntax, and also I have added few more demo scripts related to specifications with inputs and outputs. I have worked in the Linux packaging, mostly in the Debian side, and I have made several minor tweaks in the Fedora configuration. I have made some cleanup in the code and also in the examples. And regarding the solver, I have added automatically inferring auxiliary output variables and also improving initial loopback computation. Regarding the interpreter, I have fixed the order of execution in the interpreter method. I have allowed uninterpreted constraints modeling during execution. I have fixed several issues with constraints in the grammar. I have changed also the grammar to unify uninterpreted constants and variables, and I have plugged in the chi-infinity into the interpreter. Other improvements that I've been working on are allowing types in 0 and 1 in the different Boolean algebras. That means in the Tau Boolean algebra and in the simple Boolean functions algebra. And I have added missing comparators, for example, not less equal, not greater, greater equal, and so on to the grammar, and also the corresponding hooks and builders. And that's all for my month. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, amazing stuff, David. And now I'll pass it over to Umar for his update this month.
To share the recording. So this month, basically, we have spent time on fixing the issues with the current implementation of the new tree interface. We realized that the previous algorithm of how to convert the tree was not working as expected, as there were some test case failures. So that led us to implementation of a new algorithm that has now successfully converted any given tree into the LCRS representation. So that was the major chunk of the work in how to debug and root cause the issue, and then to fix it. That now we have kind of a new design. So that has been also integrated with the parser. Now you can call to different routines, get extract tree too. That will actually give you the new tree implementation. We also added a few tests, and with this will be checked in early this week in December. Yeah. Thank you, team.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Umar.
Thank you, Fowler. So this month work can be best split into two categories. One is feature implementation and the other one is minor improvements and bug fixes. And especially the second category, due to the release, is very large, and a lot of work and a lot of effort, a lot of time went into this. But since it's composed of so many small things, it's not really worth mentioning them individually. So this is just one pack of work. If you're really interested, you can check all the commits in GitHub. There you can see the descriptions of the small issues that were fixed and improved upon this month. So on the feature side, I implemented splitters for temporal tau formulas. This was a task which we had for a long time now, and it was now possible to do it because the satisfiability algorithm was completed last month for temporal tau formulas, and so now this splitter algorithm became tractable. Furthermore, also based on the satisfiability algorithm, I added an equivalence check for temporal tau formulas so that we can now decide equivalence between any two given formulas in the tau language. And then we also ran into an issue that the sometimes and always keywords weren't correctly aligned, namely the negation of one of the keywords didn't result in the complement of the models of the other keyword in the semantics, so we had to take a step back and see where we went wrong. We did that, we successfully found a good solution, and I implemented it also this month. And then just before the release, I put some effort into making the help within the tau REPL a little bit more accessible, though this is not done yet and remains as one of the tasks for next month. Thank you very much, and I'll pass it back to Fowler.
And last but not least, over to you, Ohad, to wrap it up.
Yeah, so this month there were a lot of efforts for the alpha release, and those efforts are still ongoing because there are still bugs that we have to fix. Yeah, also made some progress in figuring out more what more can be done in the temporal aspects of the tau language, to how in the tau language to do things that other common temporal logics can do. Also continued work with Professor Paris on finding Skolem functions and Skolem-Henkin functions as part of the effort towards network specification, and for compiling tau programs instead of interpreting tau programs, which would be an important performance benefit, and also helped Professor Franconi with his effort towards controlled natural language for the tau language. And that's basically it.
All right. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. What a brilliant update from the team, if I say so myself. Also, thank you to all of you for always staying with us and being such a great community. We do want to see you guys on our socials more. We want to see you guys active on X, especially because that's where a lot of the crypto community are. So if you do like parts of this update, then please share the content, clip the content from this YouTube video, share it as much as you can. The more people talking about Taunet and Agoras, the better next year is going to be when we release testnet. So yeah, that's all to come. Cheers for tuning in.